Not sure if you guys caught this, but MSNBC was exposed today for yet another set of lies. They deceptively edited together this video of different Joe Rogan comments to make it appear that he was singing the praises of Kamala Harris.
She's going to win.
No, she's not.
She can win. She is a strong woman. She is a person who served overseas twice. She in a medical unit. She was a congresswoman for 8 years.
Yeah.
She is a person of color. She's everything you want. She's going to win.
No, she's not.
She can win. They just want no Trump, no matter what.
This is not reflective at all of the truth of what Joe Rogan said. And I think MSNBC has since taken this post down. But what's really serious here is that not only does Joe Rogan deserve an apology, there's actually something far bigger at stake here. This is yet another example of how MSNBC is working hand in glove with the Democrat elite and the Kamala Harris campaign to try to spread lies, simply things that are not true. So what this means is MSNBC is a for-profit corporation. They are helping Kamala Harris's election campaign. And what they are doing through their platform would qualify as an in-kind contribution to her campaign. It's worth a lot of money. The fact that they are doing this should require the Federal Elections Commission that manages campaign spending and campaign finance to require them to report this as an in-kind campaign contribution or to be punished for abusing their position in trying to use their platform that has nothing to do with journalism. It is purely a propaganda platform, and that they are using this in order to try to help Kamala Harris get elected. These people need to be held accountable for what they're doing, because otherwise they will continue to do this, continue to abuse their platform and their power to try to deceive the American people and help her get elected.
They're desperate. Now, so yeah, they spliced together a video to make it sound and seem as if Joe Rogan was, just all out saying, yep, Kamala's got it. It's over with, which wasn't the case. And I believe Joe Rogan is actually suing them now. I saw some reports of him actually suing MSNBC for that fake news, which, hey, go for it, Joe Rogan. Get your money, man. Get your money. I can't be mad at that. I cannot be mad at that. But I also want to play this clip from Joe Rogan. Check it out.
It all bothers me, the fragility of the human mind. You know, that so everybody forever was like, Kamala Harris is the worst vice president. She's the least popular vice president of all time. And then in a moment in time, all of a sudden she's our solution. She's our hero. Everybody's with her. All these social media posts about her. Try Googling a negative story on her. You won't find one.
So,
ta-da!
Okay, you've got.
Do you think they have her medicated? Because there was a guy that was speculating that some of the things that she says, the way she's sort of disconnected sometimes. And
I don't
she
know
goes on these rambles that it's indicative
understand.
of certain anti-anxiety medication. I do not know if this is true. See if you can find that, because really
That
shouldn't
would
say
make
that about our future president.
Yeah, our future. Yeah,
She's going to win.
no, she's not.
She can win.
She absolutely can win. I do not think she's going to win, because the more she talks, like in 2020, how bad do you have to be that you can't even make Iowa? She couldn't even compete with the mayor of South Bend.
I feel like we are in this very bizarre time where people are giving in to the bullshit in a way that I never suspected people would before. And this is one, they just want no Trump, no matter what, and they're willing to gaslight themselves to think that. And by the way, I think Hillary could win. If Hillary jumped back in.
I've been saying that for months.
If Hillary jumped back in, I think the problem was also the money, because there was it was like $250 million in the campaign fund that has,
Sure.
if it only works if
Right.
she's on the ticket.
Right.
So that's part of the problem. But I feel like Hillary could win. She won the popular vote in 2020.
I've been saying this for a year in different shows, and she would have won in pretty.
Michelle Obama could win too.
No, I don't
if
think
she wanted
can.
to do it. You don't think so?
I don't. I think that's kind of this. You sound like your parents. I think it's this boomer idea. She doesn't want it.
I'm not saying that she would be awesome at it, but I think
anyone can win of either party.
Yes.
Whoever the nominee is.
Yeah, that's 100% correct. Anybody can win. Could Hillary win? Yeah, sure. He was correct. She won the popular vote in 2016. All the polls were, Hillary Clinton's going to win. They were giving her, I believe at that time, like a 70% chance to win. The predictors and whatnot. Oh, Hillary Clinton's got it in the bag, and we know how that one turned out. Even 2020, some polls were predicting a blowout, and we saw how that one turned out. Very, very slim margins, right? We can argue about the specifics of that, but the point was it didn't turn out the way that they wanted it to. Trump has consistently outperformed the polls. And I always go back to the phrase that he uttered a long time ago when he said the silent majority. I still feel like that reigns true still to today. Now, it may not reign true as much because there's a lot more people out here that are just speaking, openly about their support of Trump. But I do feel like there are a lot of folks out there who are, quiet about their Trump support. They're just going to show up on election day and do their part. Right. And that's what obviously happened in 2016. And, that's what happened in 2020 as well. So I don't believe that is going to change, especially after an assassination attempt. I think it's going to be even more folks who are going to be in that silent, possibly even more folks that are going to be in that silent majority category. Now, like I said yesterday, I wish there wasn't a silent majority. I wish we all would just speak out openly. Because I think it's necessary. I think it's tough. I think it's necessary to have those tough conversations with your friends, with your family. I get it if you don't want to talk about it at work. 100% understand that. Got to keep a roof over your head and food on the table. I won't knock you for that. But outside of work, got to have those tough conversations, man. Got to have them. Some people may hate you for it, but that says more about them than it says about you. Have those tough conversations. But before you have those tough conversations, make sure you have the information necessary to prove the other person wrong. Because let me tell you something. If you don't have the clips, it's going to be a hard time having that conversation with somebody from the other side of the aisle. Because trust me, I've had plenty of them. But when you come with the clips to back it up, then they can't really say anything, right? And then the conversation is completely different when you have the clips to back it up. Just from my own personal experience having conversations. So just a little tip. Have the clips ready to go.
Like even Chris Christie could have won if he's the Republican nominee. It's
I would
possible.
have thought that Trump getting shot would that's it, election's over. But it's like they memory hold that so quick.
You would have thought Trump getting shot would have had 8 years of corporate journalists talking about hate speech causing violence to be like, let's take a step back. And that went for what, a week?
They did take a step back for a little bit.
For a week.
And then they went right back at him.
You want to talk about this memory holding?
Yeah.
With the insanity of who's that? That was Elon who put up, like, if you Google President Donald, it says President Donald Reagan.
No, I tried it.
What happened?
Maybe they fixed it. It said President Donald Trump.
Okay. Well, he had a screenshot, so I'm sure he didn't Photoshop
no.
that.
I mean, it's based on a lot of things, right? Like what people are searching for. I would imagine that the assassination attempt on Trump would be the first one that you would see.
Yeah.
Assassination attempt on President
right.
would be Trump because that's the most recent.
Yes.
But it's not.
And most newsworthy.
But it does show it. You just have to type it all in, which is interesting because that little difference between what you can find and what you get presented immediately has a huge shift in the way people access information. And this is Robert Epstein's work.
The creepy line, the documentary, everyone should watch it.
Yeah, and this thing is very real. And what it is like if you try to Google certain negative stories, like negative stories on people, it will overwhelm you with positive stories. It'll take a long time before you get to the negative stories.
Yeah, how he explained it is here's how they can tip the scale.
Yeah.
If I Google Hillary Clinton, and I have it so Google gives fairly positive stories about Hillary as the first 10 results, you're not going to go to the second page. If I Google Donald Trump and Google gives you 7 negative stories, it's going to move the needle a little bit toward her
Quite
against
a bit.
him. Yeah.
Quite a bit. Like if you're a person who's on the fence, you're like, maybe Donald Trump's not a bad guy. And then you Google him, and then you start reading some of these like pieces that they've written about him. It'll change your perspective.
You really think she's going to win?
I'm saying it because she could. I'm not saying it because I think she's going to, and I'm not saying because I want her to. I'm just being honest. Like I could see her winning.
I think she's going to lose a lot of the black male vote.
Really? That's
I don't think
interesting.
they're going to go in the booth and pull the lever for her like they did for Biden.
So yeah, you heard him say it there at the end. Of course, she possibly could win, unfortunately. But that's when we all come into play, right? Because we know mainstream media isn't going to do it. So it's up to us. We have to get the information to the people. We have to do it. We have to have those tough conversations. We have to deprogram these folks who have just been staring at their TVs all day, every day, and that's the only information they get is what some anchor on MSNBC tells them, right? We have to be able to be that bridge to the correct information, the information that hasn't been spun in a positive light for, Democrats or Kamala. So that's why I say we can't be silent. We cannot be silent. You guys have watched what mainstream media has done. I'm watching it. I'm just like, my jaw is just like, whoa. I knew they were bad, but my goodness, but it also, proves to me that I'm supporting the right guy. The fact that the media, who has lied forever, is now trying to paint this other guy as such a terrible person when, obviously I know they're liars. That just lets me know he's not as bad as what they say. Not even close. Is he perfect? Is Trump perfect? Absolutely not. No man is. Okay? But he's a lot better than Kamala, I'll tell you that. But this isn't the only time that mainstream media have lied. Check out this little short clip that I got for you guys as well.
CNN just got caught using AI to try to make the crowds at a Kamala Harris event look bigger. Let me introduce you to Catherine Rampell. She works for the Washington Post and is a commentator on CNN. And this was the image she posted. She said, "Scenes from the Harris fundraiser in Pittsfield, Massachusetts." Then people started noticing some little issues with this photo. And she said, getting spam claiming these photos are AI. Not sure why I'd use AI to create a crowd of people in downtown Pittsfield. Then people started zooming in. The fuck is going on with that road sign? How does that happen? Someone explain to me how they can put their hands through the fucking sign? And what fucking language is this? Like, it's very obvious. This is all fake. Like, they tried to take a tiny crowd at her fundraiser and make it some big event using AI. We're now at the point that in the last 2 days alone, we caught MSNBC editing a Joe Rogan clip to make it sound like he supported Kamala Harris, when actually he was talking about Tulsi Gabbard. Now we got CNN using AI to make it look like people give a shit about Kamala Harris. It has become very clear that the mainstream media is willing to lie directly to your face. It's up to you whether or not you're going to take it.
Nah, we don't take that. But yeah, Joe Rogan was talking about Tulsi, which I think if Trump would have made a different decision for vice, this race would be a little bit easier. I have to say, once again, I'm not going to agree with everything that Trump says. I've said that before. If everybody in the room agrees, then somebody is lying, right? He's still my guy, but I can't lie. I disagree with the vice president pick. I gotta be 100. I gotta be 100. Byron, Vivek, or even Tulsi as like a uniter kind of person, I mean, because at the end of the day, she's not really going to be making any major decisions, right? Because I know some folks are going to say, well, Tulsi is a Democrat. Yeah, she's a former Democrat. She changed her party affiliation or whatnot a while back. I covered that story, actually. But yeah, she could have been like the uniter kind of person. She's a woman of color. She served in the military, right? That kind of threw off, some of the left's attacks that, they've levied against, that they were going to levy against J.D. Vance, right? And I think for just the voting base, I think it could have opened up a few more people just by having her alone, right? Now, do I think Trump is still going to win? Yes. We shall see how big of a margin that is. Like I said, my prediction, and you guys can let me know how you feel about this. My prediction is that Kamala will rise in the polls, which she's currently doing. And I said this probably a week and a half ago. I said the same thing probably about a week and a half ago. Kamala's going to rise in the polls, probably all the way up to the DNC. And depending on who she picks, maybe she'll get another slight bump or a slight, drop. But shortly after the DNC, that's when reality will kick in, and then you'll start to see a steady decline as we get closer to the election. That's my prediction. Especially if she does more public speaking events, or not events, but just off the cuff speaking moments like she had the other day at the airport with Joe Biden, who was looking lost, and then he randomly walked up some plane stairs randomly. Yeah, that was pretty crazy. But yeah, the more moments she has like that, the further her poll numbers are going to drop. So don't be discouraged. Don't be discouraged if you start seeing a bunch of, oh my goodness, Kamala beating Trump. Oh my goodness. Wow. Look what's happening. First off, part of that is probably fake, right? A lot of this stuff is manufactured. But two, we're also still in the honeymoon phase. She hasn't really been exposed too much quite yet. All right. So don't be discouraged. That's just my prediction, though. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comment section below. Y'all stay safe out there. Peace and love. I'm out.